The Miami Grand Prix. Oh my god. The Miami Grand Prix. In this video, I'm gonna let you know what went down. So, in the words of Will Smith, let's see what happened in Miami, the city that keeps the roof blazing. We start off the race, and like all the other races before this year, where we've had Mercedes in first place, it doesn't last for long. Antonelli has a horrible start, although that's nothing new. And I'm pretty sure the car has something to do with that inability to have a decent start. As for everyone else, they are fighting. They're everywhere, all at once. And then Verstappen spins like a ballerina and miraculously saves the car. And doesn't hit anyone on track. The amount of luck this guy has is insane. Lapinto fights with Hamilton and they briefly touch, but it's nothing serious. Speaking of Colapinto, amazing job this weekend. He had an event in Buenos Aires a few days prior, so I'm sure right now he's running on mate and Argentinian fanaticism. So powerful stuff, really. The order after all this mess is Leclerc, Antonelli, Norris, Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Colapinto, and so on. Verstappen is briefly fighting with Williams. That's rough. Lap 2, by the way. On lap 3, George overtakes Oscar. Lando gets the fastest lap. They note down the Hamilton-Colapinto incident as a collision, although a few laps later they announce no further investigation. The distance between Leclerc in first place and Antonelli is 0.8 seconds. Between Antonelli and Norris, 0.7 seconds, and Russell is 1.8 seconds behind Norris. And to make things even more tense, Piastri is 0.5 seconds behind Russell. So they're as close as they can get without impaling another car. Subtle foreshadowing there. The cars behind them are also close together, although the broadcast doesn't even care enough to show them on screen. Why should I? I'm kidding, kind of. On lap 4, Antonelli starts repeatedly attempting to overtake Leclerc. Eventually, he manages to pass him. But on lap 5, Leclerc overtakes Kimi once again. Seeing all this action at the front, Will Joseph, Lando's race engineer, tells him through radio the following: "Stay with them, be patient, let them yo-yo." Which is honestly really good advice, but also his job, so let's update the positions real quick. It's Leclerc, Antonelli, Norris, Russell, Piastri, Hamilton, Colapinto, Verstappen, Albon, Lawson, Gasly, Sainz, Berman, Ocon, Lindblad, Perez, Stroll, Bortoleto, Alonso. And, oh my god, Hadjar crashes on lap 5. Yellow flag, and he is very angry. Very, very upset. He's using his own skull as a punching bag, which I definitely do not recommend. Luckily, he has a helmet on, so the Frenchman, visibly upset, is now out of the race. And of course, that yellow flag turns into a safety car. First safety car of the race on lap 6. Off to a great start so far, and oh my god, is that another one. Pierre Gasly crashes, but not without pulling a Tony Hawk trick and flipping like an omelette before landing. Crazy stuff. So now we have Hadjar over here, who is still punching himself like he's in Fight Club. And meters away we have Gasly in his now vertical car. It's not a good day to be French, and maybe it never is. At this point I was praying for a replay because there's 2 cars out of this race and I just got to see the aftermath. I kind of want to see what led them there, like the interesting stuff and all of that. So please, if you could show me the onboard footage or something, please. Oh my god. Liam Lawson is a terrorist. I'm obviously kidding, but that looks like attempted murder, for sure. Just look at that. This is actually really good. Verstappen pits under the safety car for hard tires on lap 7. An interesting decision to pit so early in the race, but Red Bull almost always pulls these strategies off, so I have faith in them. We hear Carlos complaining about Verstappen through the radio. He says that Verstappen thinks he can do whatever he wants because he's racing in the midfield. And honestly, I think I would have to agree, kind of. By lap 9, they're still clearing both cars off the track. Behind the safety car, the current positions are Leclerc, Norris, Antonelli, Russell, Piastri, Hamilton, Colapinto, and so on. Oh, and by the way, Hülkenberg is also out of the race, and so is Lawson, but obviously, it's lap 11, and the safety car is ending finally. Russell overtakes Piastri, Piastri overtakes Russell. Norris is right behind Leclerc, but Antonelli is right behind Norris, so he's under pressure. We hear a radio message from Piastri claiming that Russell's prior overtake was really dangerous. Lap 13th and Norris overtakes Leclerc, but Leclerc is already coming up with a plan to gain the position back. Whatever he came up with though wasn't too good because Antonelli also overtakes him. He has lost 2 positions in 2 laps. Not ideal for the Monegasque, but on lap 14th he finally manages to overtake Antonelli. Meanwhile, all of this helps Norris to open a small gap. Antonelli and Leclerc keep fighting. Norris manages to create a 2-second gap, which isn't a lot, but you have to start somewhere. Verstappen complains about Albon, saying he cornered him during an overtake, which I personally didn't see. Lap 20, Verstappen is chasing down Colapinto. Lap 21, Russell is told to box. He has an amazing pit stop, 2.6 seconds. Lap 22, Leclerc pits. Seeing so many people pit makes us think that they are pretty sure rain won't be a problem. Leclerc, however, is not that sure and he asks through radio, why did we pit when is the rain? Then he politely but not very happily demands through radio that next time they make a decision they speak to him as well. Which, I think it's reasonable. On lap 25 it rains a bit here and there, but nothing serious. Verstappen tries and fails to overtake Hamilton on lap 26. They pit Antonelli on lap 27, 2.2 seconds. Mercedes so far having great pit stops, good job to them. Right after that, McLaren pits Norris. And now if Piastri pits, Verstappen will be leading the race, which is insane considering the start he had. Norris comes out of the pits 1.2 seconds behind Verstappen, only to be right after overtaken by Kimi. The order at the moment is Piastri, Verstappen, Antonelli, Norris, Colapinto, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, and so on. On lap 29, Kimi manages to overtake Verstappen, who is now on very old hard tires. And now it's Lando's turn to try and overtake Max. And he has to do that before Kimi creates a gap. And on lap 29, Norris overtakes Max. Then Max overtakes Norris. Then Norris overtakes Max. And I'm afraid they are jojoing, guys. Lap 30, Leclerc is fighting with Russell. And on lap 30 as well, Valtteri gets a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Leclerc passes Russell on lap 31. On lap 35, Piastri overtakes Russell, but he gets overtaken seconds later. Then Piastri overtakes him again, and oh god, they are jojoing again. On lap 47, Leclerc overtakes Verstappen, but then Verstappen overtakes Leclerc, and then gets overtaken by Leclerc. And this is, I fear, another severe case of jojoing. At the back we have Alonso and Perez, who are having fun. Don't get me wrong, they're not fighting for points in the slightest. But they are playing around, fighting, overtaking each other here and there. It reminds me of when at weddings and other formal events, kids have their own table where they eat pasta with ketchup and draw with crayons on the tablecloth. Although I kind of do that last one. Not the first one, of course, I have morals. Lap 51, there's 6 laps to go. At this point, all I want is for Piastri to overtake Leclerc and get a podium. It's nothing personal, I just like him the most, I guess. Verstappen and Russell touch on track. Russell's front wing is damaged. And Piastri overtakes Leclerc on the final lap. Leclerc spins and crashes, but also not completely. He saves the car as best as he can, but it's not the same as before he shoved it into a wall. He lost everything on the final lap. Could this be any worse for him? And Antonelli wins, and it's a McLaren double podium. Am I dreaming? Oh, by the way, about Charles having very bad luck, he gets the 20-second penalty. So yeah, it could be worse, and it is worse actually. So yeah, poor guy. Yeah, that's rough. The penalty is for driving a damaged car, which fair play, and cutting corners. My highlights from the race: Red Bull's strategists, just amazing job as always. Kimi as well, I'm glad he's getting his flowers, super deserved. He attacked, he defended, he did great. A great race overall, except that start, but we know the Mercedes and the starts don't get along. Lando also as well, great job. Getting to see the defending champion, who would be Lando, and Kimi, the new championship leader this year, it's really exciting and I like their dynamic. I think it's interesting, I think it's fun. I definitely like this narrative more than having just Mercedes dominance all year. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Canada brings, what the next races will bring. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm more positive than I've been after other races. Anyways, I think that's it for this video. So bye.